Hello, hello. Here we are. Think we're live. There's always this awkward delay as we go live, and I never know exactly when it starts. But I'm here today with another special guest, a very special person to me, Lisa Babineau from Twice as Nice Consignment and More. Welcome, Lisa. So glad that you're here today. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Stacey Berger, and I'm a certified life coach, a transformational coach in both life and business. And I've been doing these live interviews today with some incredible people, really bringing to you their stories of transformation and how they've really gotten greater clarity on their dreams and taken those dreams and those ideas into the reality of their life. And I speak about transformation, and there is a proven system on how to do that. And it's one thing to hear the ideas, it's one thing to hear the concepts, but it's when we actually apply them into our lives, that's when the real results happen. And Lisa, you are certainly a shining example of somebody. When you and I first met, you had no idea. You knew there was a discontent. You knew there was a longing to do something different, but you kept saying to me, Stacey, I have no idea what it is. And do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the question that we ask, so if you're sitting here watching this right now and you're going, I don't know what my dream is, I don't know what my vision is, the question that we ask is, well, what do you know? What do you know? And for you, Lisa, there were some things that you did know. You love working with people. You love fashion, you love beauty, you love connection, community, family, relationships. There were some things that you absolutely knew. And so you took all of that and you started something out of your basement. So tell us a little bit about your dream, your vision, and the journey of that over the last couple of years.
Well, I was just realizing I'm 3 years and 3 months tomorrow that I started in my basement. So interesting enough, it was right around this time. My birthday is April 1st. So I knew I was coming to that point of trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I mean, we always want to know what we want to be when we grow up, I think. And the conversation that Stacey did have with me, my husband, I'll say, forced me to go to a vision workshop on a Friday. So Stacey opened it up for him to bring me, and I got 2 glorious days to excel in my mind. I think was the biggest, like the blockage of thinking was like wide open. So being that I love beauty, inner and outer, so makeup artistry has been a gift to me, as well as aesthetics and things that I have done. Artistically, I wanted to keep thinking along that line. And consignment, to me, a friend of mine was going through some stuff, and she was going through a divorce, and I said, how about I come help you just clean out your closet, and I'll take it home, and this is what I can do for you. And I'll just start listing it and selling it. Well, it exploded by the end of April in my basement. And from there, the universe was on my side. I went from one location from my basement to a location that I was there for 6 months, and then I grew out of that, and I went to another location, and I grew out of that in 6 months. And in that time frame, in between the 2 first stores of mine, I realized that I wanted to get more into women's body shapes, structures, styles, because we're blocked on that view all the time as women, especially when we're in situations kind of like what's going on right now. We attack our image first. So I wanted to get more into that. So I started to do some online stuff, and then moved into my current location that I'm in. And yeah, I found every calling.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit. So you've got a location, and we'll get to what the impact of this pandemic has been on your business in a minute, Lisa. But tell us a little bit about where your location is and what you do.
So I'm located in Stony Plain, just kitty corner from the Boston Pizza on Highway 16A. What I do there is I facilitate, of course, a store that's open Tuesday to Saturday, but I also facilitate a workshop called Style with Courage. And I ran last year 24 weeks of it in one group. So a group of 12 women did the 12 weeks and then wanted to do it again. So I was gifted enough to do a level 2. And then from there, it's just transpired. So I've been running Style with Courage workshops for people to drop into, sign up for. And currently I'm trying to slowly write a book on Style with Courage. It is something to me, style is not everyone, it's my, I guess my artistic side, but the courage to me is what puts it all together, I think, more so than the style side of it.
So when you say courage, Lisa, what do you mean by that?
Well, I've been challenged a lot throughout, I guess, life, and I've constantly always wanted to strive to be better. My son just turned 18, so I'm 36. So I had a son 18 years ago, and I was, from that point on, I was a mom, and I knew that I graduated from high school and was pregnant right away, and I knew that every way I wanted life was to raise him the best ever and to get into school and just have that courage to be a mom and continue that journey to see him watch me. And then I had another guy, he'll be 14 here, and same with him. And then meeting Mike and blending a family, and even having the courage to start Twice as Nice and having the courage to even do these Style with Courage workshops and having women, look up to me and know that everything I'm doing is from the bottom of my heart and everything I speak about is from situations I've dealt with.
Yeah. And one of the things that I've seen you do over and over and over again, Lisa, both in your own life, but also as you're working with women, is letting them know that that always comes from the inside. And so, yes, the image and what we're wearing and how we're doing our hair and our makeup and all of that is important. But if it's not matching what's going on in the inside, that's really the courage, right? Is having that internal fortitude to follow our dreams, to follow our passions, to have that confidence, that self-image. And I go into your store often. Is that your dog?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's all good. This is real life.
Yeah.
And to watch people, and it's never about the size, that the number on the dress, and one of the things that you do so beautifully, Lisa, is wedding dresses, as also grad dresses, formal dresses, both consignment and also new. And people walk in there and they walk out feeling like $1 million because they found something that fits them, that they feel really great in. And you're just brilliant at that. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I feel like too that self-criticism takes over a heck of a lot more than reality. So that's been something I've struggled with. And, I battled with an image disorder, and I battled with eating disorders in my 20s. And I knew from learning and challenging myself to get through that everything's about what we do to ourselves. Everything's about what we think of ourselves. Everything's so that's been something that I teach a lot on because I believe in it. Like I truly, I have to sometimes put myself back into that zone again and be like, hey, wait a minute, get back to that place, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's not about living it perfectly, but you're certainly living into what you're teaching. And one of the things that I love about you, Lisa, is your vulnerability to be able to say, hey, I'm struggling here. It's not perfect. And yet I'm still putting one foot in front of the other. And that vulnerability and bringing community together to let people know, hey, you're not the only one that thinks these thoughts or feels this way, but there's tools to help you navigate it. And I think that's such a gift that you're bringing to people.
Thank you.
I have watched you and I've watched your confidence, Lisa, as you've pursued this dream, as you've grown your business, and it's just I always say I wish people could see themselves through my eyes, because you're certainly just not the same woman that I met a few years ago. And the things that you're accomplishing and the difference you're making in the community and in people's lives. So important. What would you say one of the most important tools has been that you could offer to people to really step into that confidence to start pursuing their dreams? What was one of the things that maybe you and I've talked about, a tool that you've learned and applied? What would you say one of the best things has been that you could share with people today?
Creativity. The one thing I know that my husband makes fun of me all the time because he's like, everyone knows you. And I'm like, well, I don't know everyone. Because he'll be like, oh, you're a Babineau, you're Lisa Babineau's husband. It's kind of an inside joke in our house. And it's because I've created a lot of live videos and I've gotten out there like vulnerable. I will have my hair up in a ponytail and my bangs pinned back, and I will get on there because people want to know you and trust you. And I think more that you are personable and creative with yourself and being on live videos, number one, is huge. A huge thing I'm doing right now that's being very successful. But also too is creative thinking, think outside the box, get out of that. I think our call on Monday was really great for me personally because Stacey's coaching me again. And I said, yeah, I gotta there's gotta be something, like, I just gotta think bigger than what I'm not thinking. Like so I decided, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna get creative in my home and start implementing new ideas. And just be okay with being in this situation right now.
Yeah. So you own a retail space. This is your dream. And with the virus and isolation, you physically shut down your doors. So the retail space isn't open right now, which is certainly having an impact on thousands and thousands and thousands of people right now. Businesses shutting down, reducing hours, layoffs. I mean, all of that is very real. And what you've done is you've shut down the physical doors, but you haven't shut down the business. And you've really found a way to bring that online. And like you say, how can I be creative here? And I think that's such an important question for all of us is, okay, business has changed right now. Life has changed right now, but there's something I can do. And it's the willingness to think beyond our current paradigm, to think beyond our current box, to think beyond the way that we've currently done things. And when we give ourselves permission to think beyond that, ideas start to come. And you said, how many new followers do you have over the last week on social media?
800.
800. Yeah. So when other people are contracting, you're growing. And I believe that's a mindset that's available to everyone. And so no, not all of us can do our businesses online. That the same things that Lisa's applying aren't going to apply for every business. Mm-hmm. But it's the willingness to ask the question, what can I do with what I have from where I am? And Lisa, you've just continued to innovate and innovate and innovate over the last few years. And that's, you're seeing that in your results.
Yeah. And I just feel like reaching out to is being like, we're better together. Like support is, I have it written all over my kids' bathroom mirrors. And, you know, I keep reminding them they're better together rather than fighting, but better together. It's been huge. It's been huge for Mike and I. It's been huge for even my employees. Like they brought that to me where they're like, we're not going anywhere. We're better together. We'll pick up, we'll work from home. We'll all, you know, do these things together. And even though things are sometimes out of our control, and this situation very much is completely out of our control. Yeah. Mine's a little bit more too, because my husband's type 1 diabetic. So his immune system isn't great. And I have to be super careful with things. So I had to really realize that this is kind of like our way of slowing things down, but also lifting ourselves up again in different ways, taking care of our health again, rethinking things, even just in our home life together, and that better together, right? Reaching out to, getting on calls with people you haven't talked to in a long time, and catching up on things. It's kind of like a guilt-free zone right now. Yeah. It's the way I call it. It's really a guilt-free. I don't have to feel guilty for being too busy or not in the moment, or I'm loving it. Like I wasn't for a bit. I had a tough day the other day, but I've had less tough days than I've had great days. So
yeah, and love that, right? The community is so important, and asking for help, being supportive. Where can I connect? What does that look like? So all really important things. I want to give Lisa a plug that she's was an answer to one of my visions. So I do a weekly YouTube video, and so I have over 100, I think we might be closer to 150 videos now. And so that requires 150 outfits. And no, it doesn't have to be a new outfit every time. But I remember early on, I thought, wouldn't it be so nice if I could just borrow clothes or have somebody dress me for these? And this is the power of vision, right? We have an idea. This isn't just our big life dreams, our big goals. And that was a passing thought. I would love to have somebody do my hair and my makeup for these videos, and I would love to have somebody dress me, and just like you used to see on the news, dressed by. I thought that would be amazing. And Lisa from Twice as Nice stepped up to that and said, hey, I'd be happy to do that for you. And so when I go into the studio, I call Lisa up and I say, hey, I'm filming videos. Could you help me? And Lisa, you're also one of the most generous people I know. So I want to thank you for being an answer to one of my visions, and doing that for me. It's appreciated. It's really appreciated, and it's really valuable for me. So thank you. You are at home now with 5 teenagers, and there's some life adjustments that are happening as we're, I homeschooled my kids yesterday. We did a 1 hour, so their teachers, again, kudos to the teachers, sent out packages, and my kids are young. I mean, they're grade 1, 3, and 5. I don't have to teach them anything crazy, but they got their homework packages. We sat down. It was an hour of school time. And I'll tell you, by the end of it, I was like, I had enough. And so just to all the parents who are trying to fill that role right now and have your kids respect you as a teacher, not as their parent. And so just tell us a little bit about how you're navigating as a family and what that looks like for you.
Interesting enough, I don't really know a lot of what they're learning. That's the truth. And I wasn't 16 years I've been out of school, well, 18 years. So they're teaching each other. They're really, really working together. It's incredible to see it. It's actually because they're blended. I do have a very special blended family. I get that all the time, and how well, our kids are. And, but I realized it for the first time the other day. It was actually Monday. They were sitting at the table together, and they were joking around and, and just working together on their stuff. And I had no idea what they were even teaching each other and how much they were listening to one another. And taking this seriously, and I was just amazed. And it's the same with yesterday. I said, you guys, go outside, start a fire and cook hot dogs. And, that's what we're going to do. And let's get out for a walk. And they fought me and didn't want to go. And in the end, we went, and they loved it. And I've taught them too, a lot more conversation versus their phones, because they are teenagers, and a lot more responsibility in the house to learn how to, well, the 4 boys especially, to learn how to grow into young men. And you guys take over supper, you cook, you get a recipe out, this is going to teach them to be great dads and husbands and, even independent university or college students or, whatever they do. I'm really letting things go. And I'm a big control freak when it comes to planning because I'm a busy woman. So when it comes to planning dinners and life and homework and stuff, um, I'm letting a lot of it go. And instead of me letting it go because I have to, I'm letting it go to teach them life right now.
What a gift. And
Yeah.
I want to add to that you and Mike have done an incredible job with that blended family. That was a decision and that was a choice, and you guys have worked hard at that. And I've had the privilege of spending time with your family, and it truly is special. But it's special, but it's possible for anybody, I would say. But it's a choice, and it takes work, and you guys have done an incredible job at that. Yeah. So Lisa, if people want to find you now, where's the best way for them to connect with you? And you're doing online, you're posting outfits and clothes, and you've got lots going on. So if somebody's interested in taking advantage of what you've got to offer, where would they find you?
So they can find me at Twice as Nice Consignment and More on Facebook, and they can find me at Twice as Nice LB on Instagram. And my website is twiceasniceconsignment.ca. Next week, we're going to actually start some virtual stuff. So I'm excited. So stay tuned for that. I'm just getting all of my ducks in a row. I'll be doing virtual Let Me Dress You appointments with women out of their own closets.
Wow.
So I'm excited to, we'll be doing some live on Zoom, and yeah, it's going to be great. So get on there because it's going to teach lots of different things. And we're going to do a little bit of a fee for it, but we're going to donate that money right now to, seniors that need groceries dropped off, and just finding that delivery service, and just to give something back, to the community right now, because it's getting busier and busier right now, and people, they're getting, less available with things. So
Oh, that's great.
mm-hmm.
And next week, Lisa, I'm bringing the Vision Workshop online. We were meant to have it in person, but with everything going on in the world, we're doing that online. What would you say to somebody who's considering taking that? It's 3 hours, taking that 3 hours and really committing themselves to being a part of that. What would you say to somebody who's wondering if it's worth their time?
It's changed my life. Do it. Don't be afraid. Like, you have nothing to lose. This is probably, gosh, I think this is my seventh. This will be my seventh I've been to. I haven't been able to make all of them, but I'll tell you, I will always be at some of them.
Yeah.
And Stacy's incredible. Everything about her impact, everything you make us think about that we ignore, or we don't even realize we're subconsciously even thinking about those things, and bringing us back to reality. Your services, I mean, I was in Phoenix and I was having a tough time because I was feeling, just lost. And, I went on a trip for myself and I felt bad about it. And Stacey reached out to me just to say, hey, how's your trip? And I got on there and she reverted the reasons why it was okay, and made me see these things in a way that my vision's always blocked. And a vision workshop is amazing. It's just do it, especially right now when you can, there's no excuses. Plug in online. We can do this. I stutter when I'm speechless because it makes me sincere on how much this has changed my life, like in every way, shape, or form. I look forward to our Mondays. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to hearing you. I look forward to knowing and taking the tools after, and just they've actually every tool I learned in the last workshop has worked for me lately the most, as well as our coaching. So
Yeah. Thanks, Lisa. Thank you. And again, it's when you take the tools and you apply them, and you've certainly done that, and the results show. So I just celebrate you and everything that you've accomplished. Encourage everybody to follow Lisa, to go find her when she reopens those doors physically. It's worth the trip. And again, I was so grateful. We live about 35 minutes west of Edmonton, so everything's a drive. So the fact that your store is only 15 minutes away from me, I love that too. But if you're coming from Edmonton or somewhere else, it's worth the drive. She's got some incredible staff there as well that are just phenomenal. So a shout out to the team that you've brought together and built as well.
yeah, I'm very fortunate. My team is amazing.
Yeah. And not fortunately, so you visioned for it.
I
And
did.
you visioned for it. That was very, very intentional on your part. So I celebrate you. Thank you for doing this today. And I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Mwah.